Let's begin. Hi guys, welcome to the stream. We've got it right. Chatting about Prince Phase, Andy, Zerfall, Mr. G, Mad Beagle, Steps, Licorice, Akmafin. I think that's everybody. Can we see your new trans? Yeah, we'll start with that. Let me just let you know I'm drinking tonight. I've been drinking non-stop since last week, pretty much. Got a bottle of Rioja. But first, I'm going to finish these two ciders that I've got. So, yeah. So I said I wasn't going to do any code off stream for pick and mix, but I got really annoyed with the transition effect and the fact that it was buggy. And while I could have probably fixed it, it would have been. It would have probably taken a few more, a bit more memory to do. So I converted this, which is the original one on the right, which is what 700 lines of code, into about 200 lines of code. The advantage of the new method is that it doesn't use the sprites, so it's relatively glitch free. The disadvantage is, of course, that it's not as smooth. Pula Akmafinin. Yeah, it's good to be back, to be honest, guys. I needed to get on stream. I felt weird on Saturday not streaming, but I wasn't really feeling up to it, to be honest. Why is my chat behind on there? Oh, there we go. You think so? So yeah, this was the old code, and the old code took about I think it took about 1.5K of memory, and this now takes about 500 bytes or so. Thanks for the sub, I appreciate it, dude. Cheers. So yeah, the disadvantage of this method is it uses characters and color ramps, so it's a little bit less smooth because it has to move at 8 pixel increments rather than 1 pixel increments like the sprites can do. And the colors have to be in the first 8 colors because obviously there's a multicolor screen behind it that it needs to reveal. But it doesn't look too bad. I need to do some tweaking on the timings of the color fades, but I'll show you now. It looks all right, to be honest. It's kind of the same effect, just with different colors, basically. And no glitches, that's the important thing. So just show you from the beginning. So there's a few glitches I need to fix on the title card screen. So these bits here are a bit glitchy now and again, particularly on the edges here and here. But the transition itself is fine now, which is good. So lag test for about a week. So yeah, there you go. That's what I did last night. It took me about 2 hours last night to convert it, and it saved a bit of memory. So I'm going to do some shuffling around of memory, and try and get some more room for the intro text. Right, let me add points to everybody and turn the races on. And I've submitted 3 more videos to YouTube today, and every single one of them had a copyright claim on it. So I'm starting to think I'm going to go ahead and remove the music from the YouTube uploads completely, so there just won't be any music on the YouTube uploads, which I'm sure some people will prefer. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the original videos with the music. I'm going to keep the original videos with the music, and I'm going to I'm going to try and find a host online where I can upload them, and I'm going to make it a Patreon perk that you can download. You can download the videos. So, congratulations, Andy, on winning your own raffle. Okay. So what I wanted to do tonight was take a look at. Just turn this down so it's a bit cold. Was take a look at the dialogue system because it's something we're going to need at some point, and it's an area of the Game Boy I haven't looked at yet. Why even bother with YouTube? You can cover your VODs on Twitch. Yeah, but the problem is if they do copyright strike them, they'll just delete the VOD completely. And not everybody uses Twitch. There's plenty of people that use YouTube that don't use Twitch. There's at least 3 or 4 people who are routinely watching them on YouTube and don't watch them on Twitch at all. It's fine. I've got all the originals anyway, so. But it accounts for about 200 gig of video. So I'm trying to find a decent internet file host that will host maybe a terabyte or so of video with unlimited bandwidth. It shouldn't cost too much, I don't think. It's pretty cheap nowadays. Yeah, I'm just going to remove the music from the YouTube ones. It's that simple. It's not an integral part of the stream at all. So I mean, it's nice that people can request it while we're live, but for those who are just kind of looking for tutorials, they're probably not that interested in the music. Okay. Oh God, I completely forgot what I'm doing there. Okay, that's fine. Oh, right, yeah. All right, so let's have a look where we're at. So I think the last thing I did was ladder code. Yeah, so we've got this weird sprite when we go down ladders, but that's fine. That's just because the ladder won't be there at all in this mode. So it's fine for that mode. I don't care that it does that because the ladder won't be there in this mode at all. Doors are working, keys are working. Oh, that was interesting. Oh, we were doing the weird jump thing where that's right, the jump routine needs some work. Maybe we should do that first actually. I remember now. So this routine is fine. We need to change this so that it behaves a little bit better than it does currently. I like the idea of having it lurch forward, but the problem with the lurch forward is when you go off the edges like that. Okay. Yeah, exactly. The SID music is just some additional entertainment for the stream. It's like the gambling stuff as well. That's why I try and keep the gambling stuff so it doesn't encroach on the code too much. Oh God, my head is not quite right for this. Let me get some more drink down here. Okay, so let's have a go at fixing the jump stuff. So at the moment it's using this jump table, which is a longer jump, but less high. So I think maybe if we're going up, we need to lurch forward. Basically, we just need to make the jump feel right in the old style, so it feels okay in the new style. Oh, what's that? Oh, that's OBS. That's not. So it feels okay in this style. That's kind of what I want. And he can jump about 2 tiles high, which is perfect. But in this mode, he needs to jump a little bit less, which he's doing there. But I think maybe just a bit faster forward. So let's have a think. So if we just increase the movement while jumping and in the old mode to 2, should be enough, I think. Let's give that a go. I have to drink meths. God. Or scotch. It's not a lot of difference for me, unfortunately. I'm really not a fan of scotch. And I know that some people will be absolutely outraged at that, but it all tastes like meth to me. Okay. At this point, we know we are jumping whilst in mono mode, so okay, so this is where we should be doing the increment of the decrement in here as well. So this is the problem. If I implement that, this is what we get. So we get, okay, everything works fine in that mode. And then in this mode, now he's jumping twice as far now. He can jump really far, in fact, which is a bit too far. But the problem is as well, when we jump up, when we walk off edges, it does that. It goes a lot further down. So here's my proposed solution: is we have a jump which is quite far that way, but when he starts falling down, it slows down. And that means if I drop off edges, he's not going to do that weird kind of lurch forward as he drops off the edge. He's just going to drop off the edge. And also means when I jump, he'll start to fall a bit quicker. So let's have a go at that. Let's just do it with one direction for now. Let's do this one here. So I'm going to do a very simple check here. I mean, I could probably use bit to do these tests here. Do I need to do anything? No, I guess, okay. Not bit. I mean, I can use, oh God, what is it called? I forgot the name of the command now. Fucking hell. Okay, so I need, oh no, it's bit. There we go. Bit test bit U3 in register R8. Okay, so, oh, like that, I've got it there. Bloody hell. Okay. So I can change this state face left. Okay, so I'm testing bit 3. Okay, so that remains the same, and then I can just do this straight away, so I don't have to load it again. And this time I'm checking if what am I checking? I don't even need that because I can just jump straight to left here. So I'm checking if we're jumping, and if we're not, then I skip over it. So this is bit 0, so I can do bit 0A. Like so, there we go. So let's give that a try. It's only going to work to the left for now, but it should give us an idea. Okay, it's definitely not going as high, which is what I want. But it's taken too long as well, and we're going a bit too far. So in this mode, I can jump about that far. So I can cover 3 tiles safely. So ideally, I want to land here. I want to be able to cover 4 tiles. The problem is I'm covering 6 tiles, so it's still too far. So I'm going to keep that method in, but I'm going to change the jump table a little bit. So how the hell is that jump table now? Oh, here we go. Okay, so this is the original jump table. So let's just copy that for now and see. I mean, obviously this is going to need trimming down so we don't jump quite as high. So I'm going to take those ones out, which is 10. And I'll put 2 more in, which is this. Yeah, let's give that a try. Just modes for 2 hours straight. I haven't watched the reel for a while, actually. Well, that definitely seems a lot better. Okay, let's give this a try by just making a small edit to the map. So let me just load the map editor up. Because this will give us a good test. If we remove these, we'll only be able to get up there in the old mode. But we'll only be able to get across there in the new mode. So, sorry, in the other way around. Okay, so looking at this section of map here, just remove, turn copy paste mode off. No, I wanted that one, don't I? Yeah, I want that one there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, like that. There we go. Okay, cool. Right, so I shouldn't be able to get up there in anything but this mode. So if I try in this mode, I can't get up there, which is correct. I can't get up there, which is correct. Oh, I did though. Got up there. Okay, that's a bit worried. Oh, it's because of the snapping. Damn it. Okay, that's fine. I just need to adjust the jump table a little bit. Okay, but I shouldn't be able to get across this gap in this mode. Okay, but I should in this mode. Perfect. Right, so all I need to do is set the jump height to be a bit different. So it needs to be a bit less. So I'm going to swap that to a 3. That might be enough, actually. Let's give that a try. Hey, Mark, man. Welcome to the stream, dude. Oh, sorry, I need to keep an eye on my messages. Okay, right, so this mode, perfect. I can still get up there, though. Oh, I know I can get up there, because probably still get up there. Oh, no, I can't get up there that way. Okay, some collision glitching going on there. That's all it is. It's trying to snap me up to that that area there, whereas what I should be doing is getting blocked. Okay, so do a few collision checks, but I think that the actual kind of path of the jump is kind of fine now, I think. Okay, let's have a look at collision then in that case. So I will get onto the dialogue at some point. Amok's unboxing video was good. Yeah, it really made my day. That it was really cool to see. Really cool to see. Is Amok here actually? I don't think he's here, is he? Yeah, and a really nice guy as well. I'd say it couldn't have gone to a better person. Really, he's by far been the biggest supporter of the challenge of the channel. So definitely worth it. He's playing with his new toy. Yeah, probably. It's a really nice way to do it actually. And I was trying to work out whether it was worth getting the C64 Maxi, or whether or not it's better off to build one of these. And I think the cost comes to a little bit more, although you can do it with the Pi Zero. So if you were to buy a case and keyboard, you'd probably be looking at about £40, I think. But you could probably do this you could buy a second-hand C64. You'd probably get a broken one for about £50. And then you could still save some of the parts in there. So I think some of the chips will be fine. If you can test them in another machine, you can sell them off. But let's say £40. Then a keyra is about the same, so that's about £80. And then it just comes down to which Raspberry Pi version you want. So it does cost a little bit more than a Maxi, but it's so much better. For a start, you're not at the mercy of that shitty company. You can use all the original joystick peripherals with it as well, which is nice. You're using an actual C64 keyboard, you're using actual C64 peripherals. Yeah, I just think it's a nice one anyway. Yeah, I think so. Much better one. Oh yeah, I don't like that company at all. I know a lot of people don't have any issues with them, but I think they're a little bit heavy-handed the way they go about things. They're not doing things in the proper spirit of the community. And when you actually look at the price that they charge, I mean, compare the C64 Mini. Let's ignore the Maxi because it has a proper keyboard with it. But if you compare like the Mini, when it first came out, with the prices of like, the SNES Mini, the NES Mini, the Mega Drive, they were way more expensive, and it doesn't sit right with me. It's just a money grabbing exercise. Yeah, it is. It is business to him, and he doesn't care about the community, and that's what pisses me off, I think. All right, let's have a look at the collision. So we've got some collision issues when we're moving up and to the left, and up and to the right. And I think it's because what we're doing is we're just checking directly horizontal to where we are. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to start by just moving that collision up a little bit and see if that fixes it. If it doesn't, then we can have a think about, and I need to fix it so it works the other way as well, because the jump. In fact, let me go and do that now quickly while I remember. So where the hell was it? See, this is this bit here. So I'll just copy that. So basically, I need to do the same thing here, but with facing right. So this is bit 4. That can stay the same. And then this would be jump 0, and this would be width 0, A. There we go. Okay, that's working the same in both directions now. But there is a check before we do that. There's a collision check here to see if we can move, and it's checking two positions. It's checking 0106 and 010F. So these are the X and Y offsets. So this is the left side of the sprite, right at the bottom, and somewhere kind of just above the middle. What I can do is I can start by just moving these up a little bit. So I'm gonna move this up by 2. I'm gonna move this up by 2. And we'll see. So this is left. Let's see if that prevents us jumping on. If that prevents us jumping on, I'll do some extra checks, and then we shall see. So the fact I can jump up here is a bit different. This is just because the check I do for vertical is kind of in the middle. So I probably need to do similar check to the feet here. So if you can stand on the ground above, then you can't jump up to it. But I'll do that in a minute. Okay, I can still get up there, which is because you shouldn't be able to get up there at all. But the problem is because I can go underneath, so it's only going to be on ledges like this. But there are going to be cases where there are ledges like that. So, like here, I can't get up because because I'm being blocked below. But what's happening here is I get to a certain point, and the collision is checking just below here and just below here. So it says, yeah, I can move that way. So it moves me that way, but then it also, the jump routine moves me up. And that leaves me kind of stuck in this a little bit, and then the snap mechanism snaps me into the correct place. So let's just try moving it. So hang on, what was this to begin with? So this was 106, and this is 10F. Because we can possibly just change this so when we're jumping, it does this this way. Cider on the go. I drank so much cider over the past couple of days. It's really nice though. Strawberry and lime. I do like it. Okay. See, that kind of works now. Problem is that's not going to be any good for other scenarios. There's going to be scenarios where that's going to be quite bad to have that kind of. Oh no, I can still get up there. God damn it. Okay. Do you know what? I'm not going to worry too much at the moment because it may just be down to level design. I just need to keep an eye out for platforms like that. I'm trying to think. I don't think there's any places where there are platform. Oh no, there is actually. This is exactly the sort of platform you're not supposed to be able to get up on, and yet I can. Yeah, it's a snapping issue, yeah. Did you get a haircut? No, I got them all cut. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Oh, the wine is spot on. That is actually the wine I'm drinking. I haven't changed that. So that's good. Oh damn! It's so annoying that it's. Maybe if we change the vertical collision. So let me just put that back. Because the vertical collision does need to change. So let's do that. So let's have a look. So at the moment when we jump, I think we're just checking in the middle of the character, but what we really should be checking is the same as the feet. So if we have a look at where the fall routine is, where we check each foot. So here we're checking each foot, O5 and OB. Let me write those down. These are our X positions for the feet. But when we do a jump, we're not doing the same check. When we jump, we're checking. So we're not checking anything. Where is it? Here we go. Jump. Check. Can we jump? See, we're just checking in the middle here. And that's not good enough. And I'm going to change that to save a byte. There we go. Okay, so it's fairly easy. So if we have a look at this version here, which I'm also going to change these to Z80s as well. So let's just copy that. So we do a jump to end jump like so, and we check O1. So I'm going to check here, and I'm going to check here. Right, so what this is going to do, this is going to prevent Doc from jumping up through platforms. Basically, if he can stand on the top with 1 foot, then he won't be able to jump up. So that's fixes that issue. You see, I have to actually move slightly to get on, and that may fix this. No, it hasn't. Just trying to think exactly what's happening there. Okay, so I think what is going on here? So get rid of this. This is fine now. So we've sorted the upwards jump. I just need to look at the horizontal collision check. So one thing I notice is that the collision is checking at position 6 and position F. It's falling then snapping. Yeah, I think I've figured out what's going on. So the problem is if you look, the distance between the top collision check, so we're checking kind of round about his neck height or so, and that it is foot. But the distance between them is 9 pixels. So it's perfectly possible to get into a position where a single row of tiles that's 8 pixels high can be between those two collision points. So now you've got a foot that's below it and an upper body that's a neckline that's above it, and therefore you can move that way through it, and that's going to cause it to do some weird stuff. So first of all, it's going to cause him to keep going up, which is then going to cause a snap. So maybe if I just move this up 2 pixels and leave the top one alone, we might actually solve the issue, because now there isn't a single gap of 8 pixels that you can slide a thing through. So let's have a look. Slide a tile through. So before it was perfectly possible to get into a position where you could kind of get halfway through a tile. Yeah, that's it. Cool. So this is a common problem with doing collisions this way, because we're doing point collisions. So instead of using bounding rectangles, what we're doing is we're specifying very specific points on the sprite that we're testing for collision. But if you do that, you need to make sure there's no way a tile can get through that gap. If you don't want to walk through a tile, then your collision points must be at least one less than that apart. So they need to be 7 apart if a tile is 8 high. Otherwise, a tile can slide through that gap, and you can get into a situation where the bottom half of you is below the tile and the top half of you is above the tile. Thankfully, I've had that issue before on Commodore stuff, so it's something I've kind of experienced before, which is why it's easy to solve. I remember when it first happened, it took me a long time to solve it. So just bear that in mind if you're using this kind of point collision system, that you do want to ensure that the tiles don't slide between those 2 points. But yeah, that looks fine now, and you can't get up there at all now, which is good. You have to switch into this mode and then switch into that mode to get across. Cool. So I think we're pretty much done with the jump routine now. So what I want to look at now is the dialogue routine. So I'll explain a little bit about it, then I'll have a quick break while I fill up with some more ice because I ran out of ice. And then we'll implement it. So in fact, I can show you in here. So the Game Boy actually has 2 screen RAMs. The main one is just screen RAM as we're used to, but the other one is what's called window. It's commonly used for head-up display, so I could have used it for this here. If I wasn't scrolling this window, sorry, if I was scrolling this window, I'd probably use it for this to keep a static HUD at the bottom. It tends to only, in fact, from what I remember, it can only come in fully from one side. So you can't have like just this corner. You'd have to have the entire top half or the entire bottom half or the entire sides. You'll quite often see it on Game Boys as dialogue windows, which is what we're going to use it for, which is why when you see a dialogue window on a Game Boy, it fills the full width of the screen and always comes up from the bottom or comes down from the top. I think some RPGs have stats panels that come in from the side as well, but it's the same sort of thing. They just take over one side of the screen, and all it is, it's just another screen RAM, which sits on a layer above everything else, which I think I can show you in here. No, I can't actually. That's weird. Thought I would be able to show you in here. Map auto, tiles auto. Oh damn, where is it now? Right, I need to make sure I'm not just dreaming that up, because I'm starting to doubt it now. Okay, video. Besides the background, there is also a window overlaying the background. The window is not scrollable. It's always displayed starting from its left upper corner. Oh, you can actually set it to be, so you can, it always draws the whole thing, I think, but all you can do is position it the top left corner, so you can draw in corners like this, but generally they tend to go all the way across the screen. Both background and window can be disabled or enabled separately. So let's start by trying to enable it, and then we'll just draw some stuff into it. And then once that works, what we'll do is we'll try and position, get the screen to kind of get the dialogue window to pop in and pop out again. So I'm not sure how we're going to do that. May make it pop up from, well, I guess we need it to be variable because depending on where you are. So the way this worked in .cosmos is I had certain tiles that when you walked into that tiles area would trigger a dialogue. So for instance, I had one near the first door. You'd get to the door and it would say you need a red key to to open this door. So this tile would be marked as a dialogue. And so what I had in the editor was I just had a way of marking certain tiles with indexes. So basically you would just add a new number to the list. So this would be dialogue 0. There was one actually here when you got to this point here, or was it here? I think when you got to this point, no, it was down here, I think. If you got to this point, it triggered dialogue 1 and so on. And the reason I just trigger them with indexes is because I want some additional code in them. So for instance, in the original .cosmos, if you trigger the one at the door, it will always appear. It just runs a piece of code which sets the dialogue off. If you get to the one here that's at the bridge, it should only be triggered when you're in this mode and it says somebody should build a bridge here in future. It's a kind of clue that you need to change timelines. So that dialogue routine will check if you're in the right timeline or not. Also, dialogue routines can turn themselves off, so they will only ever trigger once. So the next time you go in, it won't trigger again. So if you get to this point and you're in the old timeline, you see the message, which tells you need to change, and then you can walk across the bridge. If you get to this point and you trigger the message doesn't show because you're in the new timeline, but then again, you don't need to know, so you can walk straight across the bridge. Just make sure that if you come back again and you stand here, it doesn't actually trigger a message again. For instance, there's one right at the very end. So if you get all the way back to your ship in .cosmos and you change into the old timeline, your ship won't be there because you haven't landed there yet. So if you get there and you're in the old timeline, it will tell you that, I'm sure I left my ship here, and then that's a kind of clue that you need to change timelines. But again, that will only happen once. So that's what I want to do. So in order to do this, we're going to write a dialogue routine which can bring in a dialogue from either the top or the bottom of the screen. It just displays a message. You press fire to dismiss it, and then it never shows that dialogue again. Yeah, okay, let's I can put some dummy kind of dialogue places in, but for now, let's see if we can draw the window on there. What I'm going to do though, I'm going to take my break a little bit early. I'm going to go and get some ice, because I'm running out. This is kind of, it's cold, but it's not cold enough. And I'll take my break now, and then we'll do the dialogue stuff. So I'll be back in 5 minutes, guys. Be right back. I'll turn the races on. Be right back. Right, and I'm back. Thanks for the host, guys. Proud7 and Andy. Cheers, guys. Let me the race is gonna come up one more time. Okay. So let me see if I can find the information about this. Oh God, I forgot what the Pandocs. That's it. Pandocs. So these docs are really useful. Wow, that's bright. Make it smaller. Share a link to this. These docs are really good because they tell you everything. It's a technical reference. It's like the programmer's guide for C64, same sort of thing. So video display is what we're interested in. So for now, I'm just going to force it on. So I'm going to do it right at the beginning in the code. Window display enable. So bit 5 of LCD C or whatever it is. I'm going to use the no, because how did we do this? Did we start using the actual addresses? No, I'm using a weird mix of addresses here. Okay, whatever. So I'm going to create a new. Can I knock the music down a little bit? Yeah. There you go. Okay. All right, let's create a new file, call it dialog. Create one of these sections. I need to remember what these, so it's section. Okay, easy enough to remember. And this is still, we've still got loads of room for code down here, so there's plenty of room for this here. And I'm going to create an init function here, which is, for now, it's just going to set the, actually, let's call it init dialogue. Is that a breakpoint now? No. Oh, it's just, oh, I see. Okay. Some GitHub stuff there. That's kind of nice. Some diff stuff. It's useful. How much is a ticket for your next giveaway, and can we buy 3 tickets each? It'll be the same. I'm going to keep it at 2,500. I think that's a valid list. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a short list of books from the list that you guys create, because there's a lot in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a short list with prices for each book. I'm going to take shipping into account, so I'll probably add a little price on for shipping as well. And then depending on, it will probably be around about £120, I think. So it'll be about £120 worth of books. And then whoever wins will have it, basically £120 to pick books from that list. I'll be picking. I'll try and keep the list as long as possible, but I'll be picking them based on based on the price for one. Because if a book is like £80, I mean, I can probably put it in the list still, but it's, if a book is £120, there's no point putting it in the list really. That's right, check annoyed for Amiga. You'll be fine, Andy. I'm sure you'll be fine. You did it with the ST. You can do it. You can do it with the Amiga. I'm sure. And you've got the whole internet at your disposal now. Yeah, so I'll just give whoever wins will you'll have a couple of days to just kind of look through the list of books and pick which ones you want, and then I'll ship them out to you. That's probably going to be in 2 weeks' time. So not this Saturday. No, it'll be 2 weeks on Saturday. So it won't be this Saturday nor the Saturday after. It'll be the Saturday after that. So yeah, it will be. So if you're interested in it, then put some books on. I'll put some books in the list, and then you can request them if you win. Then you see, it's difficult to just kind of give away a set list of books, because one, people might already have them. People like Andy, for instance, collect lots of books, so it'd be crazy to just give him copies of books he already owns. And secondly, people have different interests as well, so it wouldn't be fair for me to just give a load of 6502 books if your main interest is Game Boy programming or something. So this way you can pick yourself. So yeah. And as Zerful says, yeah, don't go AFK at the wrong time. As he unfortunately has first-hand experience of that. So so yeah, we'll do that in 2 weeks on Saturday, and I'll give you guys the full list just before the stream or during the stream, so you can kind of have a look through and see what you want to what you want to kind of order when and if you win. Okay, right. So init dialogue. So what I want to do in here basically is, first of all, just turn that window on. Um, so it is background tile map display select. I'm not sure. A window. Well, let's turn it on and let's see what happens, and we can work out the rest from there. So, so we need to load A with, now this, I think it said was LCDC, but that doesn't show up as anything. So I'm just going to do it with the hard coded values, and I'm just going to put here LCDC. I've got another annoying hangnail. Not eating properly, that's what it is. By the way, for this this Saturday stream, I should have the level editor ready by then. I started doing quite a lot last week, and then I just kind of lost interest a little bit this weekend. But I'll get back onto it tomorrow, and hopefully have something that allows you to create levels pretty soon. So hopefully we should start getting the levels together. And I think we've got enough room for. I think we've got enough room for 60 levels. I think we can definitely manage that, which is more than enough. Probably too many actually, but we shall see. Okay, so I need to turn bit 5 on this. So I think there is a bit set. So let me just have a look. So there is indeed a set. I can set the value. Okay. Could us not been able to test our levels? Oh no, you will be able to test your levels. So one of the things the tool is going to have, it's going to have a test level button. And what that will do is it will there'll be a copy of the game inside the directory, and it will patch the CRT with your level data. So when you load the game up, it will be your level that loads up. Otherwise, it's pointless. I mean, it definitely needs to have that. And it will also have a project file format as well, so you'll be able to save the project out and come back to it. As well as an export version as well, so you'll be able to export the data so that I can include it in the game. I'm not going to do the XMizing just yet. I need to think about how this works, because there is some data that could potentially be shared between levels to save space, but I just want to look at kind of what we've got, and as individual level tests it should be fine. I was thinking as well, I may do the level loading kind of, I may get the level loading working, but only for like 2 levels or something. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to prevent, because the game is completely open source and it's available for people to download, I'm trying to prevent people putting an unfinished game on CSDB claiming that it's the full game when it's not. So I need to find a way to prevent the full game going on there. So it may be that the entire list of levels don't get added. And we only add a couple of levels in for testing, and then right at the last minute I'll add all the levels in just before release. I don't know yet. I need to have a think about how best to do this. Okay, so I can set a bit in here. So if I set 5 in the accumulator, so that should now have set this bit in here, and then I can put it back. So this should, in theory, turn on that screen. Now, the other thing is this may actually, okay, interrupts are disabled. We may need to make sure that this only happens at certain points. So there is a is it wait v blank? So I may do that first just to make sure that it's happening at the right time. So let's do that. And let's see what happens when we run this. I don't expect to see anything here really, but well, in fact, it's completely failed. So, oh, because I'm not importing the file. Okay. God. Wow. Okay, yeah. So I'm not seeing anything here. Let's go ahead and set some parameters, because it could just be that it's just drawing the background. Because we've also got this display select here as well. So at the moment, the background is using, I think it's 9C that it's using. So that would mean I need to turn bit 6 off, which I can do with res. So, well, actually, let's have a look. Let's have a look what the value is actually set to. So the current value is 8B, which means bit 6 is... Oh, actually, that means that bit 5 is not turned on either. Can I change that value in here? Edit code or data. All right, so let's try setting bit 6 and bit 5. So that would be 8. What would that be? That would be E. So if I set that to EB and then go back to here. Okay, so something happened because it shifted the whole screen over by 1. I'm not entirely sure what the hell happened there, but so that's 8B. Shifts it back. Okay, so it looks like it's shifting something in from this side. I'm not entirely sure that's correct though. Which elements are displayed on screen and how? Okay, so LCD display enable. So it controls which background map the window uses for rendering. Let's reset the 969 C100. Okay, so that should be using the correct area. Oh, hang on. Let's try this as AB instead. Ah, there we go. Now we have what looks like a window over the top. So see if I can find the window positioning. Interestingly though, it's not actually storing these values correctly. So let's try this. Let's try less bytes then as well, I guess. I'm not seeing the window though. Interesting how it's kind of resetting that. So maybe something else is changing that value somewhere. Which it wouldn't surprise me because we've also got this map drawer here as well. Let me just try moving this down to here. Okay, yeah, so something probably in the map drawer is changing that value. So let's go and have a look in the map drawer because I need to make sure that it doesn't get overridden by anything. So we've got this value here, which is actually turning off the LCD. Okay, which is not ideal because down here, wherever it's turned back on again here, we're actually setting the LCD setup here. Okay, this isn't too bad actually, because if you're on the dialogue, then the game pauses, so you can't change screens, so you can't see the dialogue until the map's completely drawn anyway. So I think this is fine. I will use this. So let's see if we can figure out the positioning of it now. So the window is, just to answer Chiz's question there. The window is this blank stuff here over the entire screen. It just happens to be covering most of the screen. So what I need to do is position it so it's just in a in a different place. Yeah. I don't know a lot about tech myself. What about some kind of unfinished notice that's obscured in code? Yeah, I mean that's fine. I could definitely do some stuff like that, but the problem is the code is fully available online. So all I need to do is make sure that there is certain elements that don't get added until the very last minute. And I'm thinking the levels is perfect for this. So they can upload it, but the version will only have 3 levels, which will be, bad because it's not the complete game. So what I'll do is when you guys send me the levels, I'll get you to do that through private message rather than drop them in the channel anywhere. And then I will download them and keep them separate from the game, and we'll just put a couple in the game just to test it out. Yeah. Nvidia just murdered the 2080 cards. Yeah, they did. They did. Although take their performance measures with a pinch of salt, because one thing they definitely did a lot of with the 2080 Ti was they claimed it was twice the performance of the 1080 Ti, and it isn't twice the performance. It's about 20% faster. The 2080 Ti is about 20% faster than the 1080 Ti. What they meant was in a game with ray tracing turned on. So if you do try to do the ray tracing effects on a 1080, then yes, it's going to be twice as fast. The 2080 is custom built for it. And I think they're doing the same thing here as well. They've seriously boosted the AI tensor cores, which means that the ray tracing can do its job much better. And they've doubled. I think they've got 4 times the performance for the tensor cores, which are used for the denoising and the DLSS algorithm. And they've also doubled the ray tracing cores. So the ray tracing itself is twice as fast, but now the algorithm which upscales like 1440p to 4K is 4 times faster. So yes, it's really good, but these are all things that are just, in terms of raw processing power, it's probably not much. If you just ignore the tensor cores and you ignore the RTX cores, it's probably not twice as fast as the 2080 Ti. It's probably about 40-50% faster, I think. But if your game supports DLSS and RTX, then you are going to see a big boost. Also, I think their pricing is interesting because I think they've priced it because they know AMD are catching up. So they've deliberately priced the card that is level with the 2080 Ti, so the 3070. They price that at £500, or $500, whatever it will be over here. I don't know. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think AMD are going to end up releasing a card that competes just above the 2080 Ti, probably at the same level as the 3080, and it's probably going to be about the same price as the 3080 as well. And this is why Nvidia, I think, have renamed their Titan card. So the 3090 is essentially what a Titan card was. So I think the reason they've done that is to encourage the enthusiasts who would have just bought the 2080 Ti and not the Titan to buy the 3090 instead. It's also why they haven't released the 3080 Ti. I fully expect there to be a £1,000 card somewhere in the new year, which they'll call the 3080 Ti. Yeah, RTX. The thing is, for RTX to be really useful, development studios need to ditch a lot of the pipelines that they're using already, and go with new pipelines. As they showed with that marble demo, they showed that if you do fully ray traced, fully ray traced and path traced kind of renderers, it can look really good. The problem is nobody's going to do that right now. So, all right, let's find out where this window is. I'm getting distracted. Okay, so window positioning is what we're looking for now. LCD position and scrolling. Okay, so we've got scroll Y and scroll X, and then we've got window Y and window X. And the window X is window X position -7 for some reason. WX value is 0 to 6, it's 0 to 6 and 166, unreliable due to hardware bugs. Okay, let's try some values in it. So 4A and 4B is window Y and window X. Yeah, they will be. I mean, I want to sell one of my graphics cards, just to get some money now while I can. But I'm gonna hold on a little bit. I do want to get the 3090, but I'm just gonna hold on just a little bit. I want to see the reviews and the benchmarks, and I want to see how much worth it is. If it is significantly better than the 3080, then I'll get the 3090. But it has to be significantly better. I mean, at least like 50% more performance. If not, then I'm probably just going to go with the 3080 instead and save some money. But yeah, I had the same thing. My daughter's fiance wanted a new computer, and I've got all the parts behind me. You can't see them; they're up there on the shelf. And I said, just hang on for a couple of months, because there will be a new line of Nvidia cards coming out, and you will probably get similar performance to what I've got in my computer for a fraction of the price. I'm not interested in what Linus has to say about it, to be honest. The two people I'm interested in are Jay-Z 2 Cents, who does the water cooling videos, because he knows how to benchmark a graphics card properly, and Steve at Gamers Nexus. If those two give positive reviews of it, then I'll probably go for it. So right, let's set some values in here. So it's saying, well, let's try some values in a mid-range somewhere and see what happens when we set these values. So let's start by just loading. Let's load values of 40 and put these into these locations. I don't regret buying my 2082. I regret buying two, but I don't regret buying the first one at all. My screen, it's 4K 14 hertz HDR, so I really do need the power in order to get the full frame rate. Once you've played a game at 144 hertz, 60 just doesn't feel good anymore. So I definitely needed the power. I made the mistake of thinking that SLI would be better than it is. Okay, so the window is here now. So it doesn't look like we can set a negative value on this, which is a bit concerning. What's the response time on my screen? Well, it says 1 millisecond, but I know it's not 1 millisecond. They say it is 1 millisecond, but it's because of some weird processing thing that it's got in it. But for a start, it can't even if it is 1 millisecond, I'm not going to notice that anyway, because the screen's only 144. So you know, my response time is going to vary between 0 at best and what, 6 or 7 milliseconds or something. So it's kind of wrong that they say that, but I think it says that it's hang on, it's Yeah, so it says, yeah, 1 millisecond, but it uses something called visual response boost, which I think is just a sneaky way of saying it's not quite 1 millisecond. They're using trickeries to to do it. But yeah, I mean it's great, and it's a G-Sync monitor as well. Pixel transition time. Yeah, but what I'm saying is the quickest a pixel can transform on my screen is once every 144 times a second. So even if technically you can make the pixels respond that quick, even if I wanted to change a pixel from black to red, I may have to wait up to 7 milliseconds before that screen refresh hits and actually sets it. So I think the refresh time only really matters if you're running like super high refresh rate monitors, um, and every little thing, every little bit counts. Plus, the lower your refresh time, the less motion blur you get as well. So, like really high kind of response time will end up quite a blurry picture. I really want to get onto the wine, but I'm enjoying the cider. Right, okay. So I was kind of hoping that I could make this window appear partially up here, but it doesn't look like I can. So this is Y, and this is X. So let's see if I just set the value to 0 in here. Now it says I shouldn't set 0, but I'm not using scroll X, so I don't think this would be a problem. And actually it doesn't fully cover this side anyway, so what happens if I set a high value? Does it go backwards maybe? Okay, no, it doesn't do anything. All right. Oh, that reminds me actually. There is a new emote as well. So I'm slowly going to add emotes for everybody in the race as well. So above the first one, but I will add more as we go along. Okay, so I can't set a negative value there. I seem to only be able to set from 7 and above here because which is now perfectly covering. So maybe it is going to have to come in from the bottom. Because I don't think there's any way of making this transparent. Um, the window becomes visible if enabled when positions are set in the range WX to 0 to 166, WY 0 to 143. Yeah. Damn, this is annoying because I was kind of hoping I could have it come in from different directions. But it may be that I just have to make it come in from the bottom. In which case this is going to be, what's it going to be? It's going to be 20, so it's 160 high, which is A0. So this would have to be like 90 for it to just cover the hood at the bottom. Oh, which it doesn't. Maybe it needs to be a bit higher then. Oh, the screen's not as high as it. I think it's slightly wider. So yeah, there we go. Okay, I mean it's not a problem because what I can do is guarantee that there is a certain amount of space down here to display the dialogue. So I could actually, the hood is always going to be free to cover up, so that's fine. And I could say that the trigger point should never be in the bottom section, so I could have it, oh god, one set of meta tiles up from that, like that, and that seems to be enough room, I think, to put a dialogue in. So we'll always have it appear at the bottom. Yeah, and we'll have it scroll in. So first of all, what I want to try and do is just put, god, hiccups really bad now. I'm going to put some text in it and see what it looks like. Okay, so let's just put a test dialogue here. So this is actually turning it on. So let's put activate dialogue here. Because actually we don't need to do any initialization in here. Actually, we can initialize it and just have it off screen. There's no need for us to just keep turning it on, off and on again. We can leave it on and we can have it set to that to begin with. And then activating the dialogue will turn on a flag, which will then basically scroll it in. So what I'm going to do here, set that. Now, again, this needs to only happen in the VBlank area. So we're going to have to do some clever stuff in the VBlank to say whether or not we need to initialize a dialogue. Same with filling in the dialogue as well. So I'm going to have a look at the character set. Let's see what I have in here. I don't think I stored. Oh no, I did store some stuff. Oh no, that's text. I was kind of hoping I had some border stuff, but I don't have anything for borders. So, okay, this is fine. It just means I need to add something in here. So I'm going to add it down here, I guess, at the bottom. What is this here? I have no idea what that is, but I feel like I need to leave it there. So I'm just going to add some border things in here. So the border is just going to be really, really simple. I'm going to use which palette? I'm going to use. Actually, it really doesn't matter for this, but I'm just going to use a similar style to C64 kind of. Well, not quite C64, but so it's just like this basically, and then that means there needs to be one on that side. And that's one at the bottom. Really doesn't matter what palettes are set in here because it's going to be set in the code anyway. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. Okay. Okay, so that's going to export those tiles, and those tiles start at 224. So how best to do this? So I think I can. So I can actually put hard-coded dialogue border in here, which I probably can set up in the initialize. So I'm going to do this up here, and this is going to contain our bytes that make up that screen. So, oops. completely wrong programs. Oh, that's not what I want. God, my head really isn't with it at all today. Getting there though, getting there. Just happy to be back on. I know it's only one stream missed, but I miss you guys. You know it is. Okay, so the screen is 20 across. 20 across and 18 down. So we're going to use 4 rows. So I need to do 4 rows of characters here that are 20 across. So, and this needs to be based on the values in here. So I need 224 and then 228 and then 225. So I'm going to do it in blocks like this. So that's 20. Is that 20? I count too many there. That is 20. Okay. Right, for now I'm just gonna copy this block, and then we'll update this to add a bit more in. We miss you streaming too. Yeah. Good night, Quadrusoul. Yeah, it was only one night, but it felt really weird. Saturday night, I was just sat playing Satisfactory all night while getting drunk, which is a great game, by the way. I definitely recommend it. It's an early access game on Steam, but it's a full price early access game. But my God, is it good? It's really, really good. It's like can't even explain it. It's kind of like if you've played Factorio, which is the 2D factory building game. It's like that, but it's 3D in a world that's kind of like No Man's Sky. So it's got a bit of No Man's Sky to it, and it's just a gorgeous game. It's really, really well made. It's huge. It's a massive, massive game. And I think I've got about 40 hours in it so far since last week, and I've only scratched the surface of it. I really have. It's a very good game. Definitely highly recommended. Okay, so let's just indent these a little bit. I want my indentation to have enough room for extra labels. And let's go ahead and copy some stuff from here into our window area. So our window area should be 9800. That's what I gather from the code. So we're going to copy 40 bytes. So I'm going to load B with the value 40, which I'll do in not 40, sorry, 20. Like so. I'm going to create a label called loop here. Yeah, my hiccups have gone. That was a very brief hiccup thing. That would be annoying to get hiccups on stream. Really annoying. Right, so we need source and a destination. So I'm going to load HL with dialog border. And I'm going to load our destination or DE with 9800, which is where we're trying to copy to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load the accumulator with the contents of DE. And then I'm going to load that into HL and increment that, and also increment DE, and then I'm going to decrement B. God, I always forget whether this triggers it or not. Set result is 0. It does. Okay, so jump if not 0 to the loop. Okay, hopefully that should print one line of the dialog window. Okay, not even seeing the dialog window now. Oh, because we've turned it off here, so we need to activate the dialog. So I'm going to do that right at the end here. So the other thing, and this is a temporary call here, we're going to remove this. The other thing we need to do as well is when the dialogue appears, we need to pause everything. Except the animations. The animations can still play out, but the player will be paused. There'll be no update of the player. Likewise, there'll be no update of enemies if there's once we get the enemies on screen. It's only there's 16 bits that don't set flags. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I knew it was one or the other. I couldn't remember which one. Which kind of makes sense because if you're decrementing a 16-bit register, then you could have one of the individual ones go to 0, but the whole thing not go to 0. So kind of, yeah, I need to just remember it like that. I'll remember it in the end, I'm sure. So the other thing we need to do is we need to set the palette to be all the same color. Now, how I do that, I'm not sure, because on the Game Boy, in the old mode, the palette's already kind of decided for you. So I don't want to mess around with that. So I might have to find another way of doing this. A content I like to see, find this one on Twitch. Hey, Mozart, I take it you're into a Game Boy code then, or Z80 code, if you can call this Z80, which you can't. Okay, I'm not seeing anything in this area though, so let's just go and have a look at that area in memory. Okay, I'm also not seeing anything here, so maybe it's not copying. Oh, I've got it the wrong way around, that's why. There you go. There we go. It's a little bit too far. Oh, it should be 20, and I've done 40. That's what I've done wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it should wait. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4 is correct. Okay. There we go. So I noticed that these bits around here are showing. Maybe these shouldn't be rounded edges. Maybe these should be square edges on here. You've called this chip a lot of names, but Z80 was never one of them. A pile of poop, that's what I call it. I hate this chip. I really do. But, you know, it's all... I do this because I want to learn, and I want to share that learning experience with you guys, so it's all good. So I'm gonna create a slightly more decorative kind of corner piece like so. Go. Should probably save this tile map again. Oh no, that's the tile map. I don't want to save the tile map. I want to save the project. And I know I've got source control, but I'm using old school methods for this. Right, in that case, let's do the other rows. So the other rows should be really simple as well. So the next 2 rows are going to be identical, which are basically going to be this character here, which is 226, ending in 227, but with zeros all the way across. So 226, 234. And then the last row is going to be another one of these long ones. I mean, they're both 20 characters long, but this one is going to be 3-digit numbers all the way across. So let's have a look. Close all these down. So this is going to be 230 to 231 at the end, 229 in the middle. Okay, cool. And now all I need to do is change this to use 160 characters. Sorry, not 160, 80 characters. That should be enough. We should have a little dialogue window. Oh no, it's gone horribly wrong. Why has it gone horrible? Oh, I know why. Because this is just another screen, so it's not as straightforward as just printing 20 lines like that. We have to actually do it. We have to do it 14, like 20 characters at a time. So I'm going to actually create two. So this is going to be our row counter here. And this one is going to be, the one underneath it is our column counter. So we're going to do 4 rows, 20 columns. I'm going to call this outer loop. And all we need to do is keep running this loop until this hits 0. When it hits 0, then what we need to do is we need to leave HL as it is, but we need to increment DE properly. So DE then needs to have, let's have a look. How does this work again? Not that one. So it's 28, so it's 32 across. So we'd need to add an extra. So we've added 1. So we'd need to add an extra 12 on to DE. So now, is this going to go on to another row, or can I just add to E? I don't think it's going to go on. No, it's not. So I can just add to E. So if I just add 12 to this, like so. Let's put the next row in here. And then here I can do the decrement C. It's a single 8-bit number, so I can count on it triggering the 0 flag, and just jump to there. So hopefully this should work now. There we go. And so we have a little panel at the bottom. So I think what I might do is not worry too much about the palette changing in the background. Just pause everything. Because if I try and make it so there is at least some animation on most screens, then it will be really obvious. But also, when the dialogue happens, you're not going to be able to control. The only thing you're going to be able to do is close the dialogue down. So I also need to make sure that the dialogue close is debounced, because at the moment that isn't debounced, and jump isn't debounced as well. So I need to make sure that if you're holding down the fire button like this, but firstly that you can't do that. You have to let go to do it again. So I need to do that debounce at some point. But the other thing I need to do is make sure that if you go into the dialogue and the button is held down, then it will wait for you to release the button before you can press the button again. Because the last thing you want to be able to do is hit a dialogue, and because you were holding down the fire button as you hit it, the dialogue automatically closes. So you need to prevent that from happening. So we'll do some debouncing, I think, once we've got the dialogue routine working. But that's it. I mean, that's basically the setup of the dialogue. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn the activate off here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a slight animation for this. So I'm going to have update dialogue here. And then I'm going to set some values in RAM. So what we're going to have is 2 values in RAM. So we're going to have, what is this door animation? This I should probably leave that where it is. So let me keep that there. So dialogue active, which is going to be a single byte, which is just going to say whether or not it's on or off. We may update to have a state to say whether it's animating in or animating out. It doesn't really matter at the moment. In fact, yeah, I will use that. So 0 will mean, but let's put some notes in here. So 0 equals not showing. We can have 1 as animate in, and 2 as animate out. Which can be bits as well, so we can probably set those as dialog in. Having network issues, errors in chat. No. What do you mean errors in chat? What's happening? As the God, I can't speak properly. There's some more calling me. Is the race being funny? Let me know what the problem is, because I could probably just restart my server. Looking stream chat. I'm not seeing any issues, to be honest. Stream is playing okay. Oh, you disconnected from the server. Oh yeah. I don't know. It should be fine. But yeah, I see what you're saying. It says you were disconnected from the server, but that could just be the so there is, for the chat to work in the stream video, there's a different connection for that chat. I'm not disconnected on my main chat in OBS, so it's probably just that one little plugin for OBS had a problem. But it's still connected fine. I thought you meant like commands weren't working or something. It's, that happens occasionally. So we're going to have dialog in and dialog out, which is going to define which way the dialogue is moving, which is going to be useful for this bit here. So dialog position. So the dialog position will be a single byte, and this byte will be set in here initially to 90, which is what we're setting up here. So I'm going to store that in here as well. And then that's going to change in the update dialog here. So all activate dialog is going to do, in fact, I don't need this anymore. I can do this through these values here. So yeah, no problem, Andy. Thank you for letting me know. You're the sane eyes on the streaming chat. You do a very good job of modding. Thank you. Appreciate it. Let's get this cider down and I can actually open the bottle of wine. I'm probably not going to get very much of this wine tonight, but I'm looking forward to Checkanoid on Thursday. I'm pleased. I'm pleased with the progress so far. I'm going to get the shooty pew pew stuff in, at least the basics of it anyway. I'm worth every penny I get paid. You don't get paid. Let's say you're not worth anything. Oh dear. So update dialog, I'm going to call every frame. So let's just put a return in here for now. And let's call that from the main interrupt function. So we've got all these things here. I think we were having some issues with, or was it just, maybe it was just the IRQ. So let me do it here. Okay, so I do have a feeling that I'm going to have to go through some of these and optimize them a little bit, but that's fine. That's a job for towards the end. If we're having issues, flickering issues or things going wrong, then I can look at that towards the end. I'm fairly certain the IRQ kind of push register thing is probably solved most of it anyway. So okay, so this is initializing the dialog, which is just creating the bordered bit, which gives us 2 lines of text. It's not an awful lot, but we should hopefully be able to fit that in. I mean, I could essentially stretch it to more and just make sure that the dialogue only ever happens in a certain area of the screen, but we'll see. Depends on what we require from the dialogue. It may be that we can fit it all in. It may be that we have a system which is common again in Game Boy games where you see a bit of text, you press a button, and then another bit of text appears. The main point is we can fill this with whatever we want, and animate it in, and we can have it react however we want it to react in our dialogue system. This is just the kind of initializing and display of the window. Okay, so update dialogue. So first of all, I'm going to do a check which update we need to do. So first thing we need to do is we need to load dialogue active. This is not animating actually here. So basically, if this is 0 now, we return. So we do a return if 0 here. That means we don't need to do any update. The dialogue is not animating, so we don't need to do it. You need a squeaky annoying news too. The text is printing way too slow, like no, I'm not. I do find that really annoying. I hate games where you're forced to read things, and I hate that system where text appears and it will go beep, 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 beep. It's a nice effect, but when you've got an RPG which has thousands and thousands of lines of dialogue in it, that's the last thing I want to do is be waiting for it going beep, 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 and printing it out. It's just so annoying. And I think they've realized that, because in some games you can press the button to speed it up a bit. But what I really want is to press the button to skip it completely. And a few games do that, but far too many don't. Far too many don't do anything, and they just make you sit there and read it. As you know, the worst game, absolute hands down, the worst game for that was Metal Gear Solid on the PlayStation. My God, that game was painful. The game itself was amazing, but the dialogue was just, oh man. It was too much, and you couldn't skip it at all. And now we have the same thing, but with speech. So now you've got to listen to these cutscenes, which is partly why Last of Us winds me up so much. Which is a good point. I don't know whether to play that tonight. I'm not really in the mood for it, to be honest. I'm a bit drunk, so maybe not. Okay. What are you play? No, I'm probably not going to play anything, to be honest. So I think I'll code until I can't anymore, and then that's how you really feel. Yeah. I'll code to like 1/2 on or something, and then I'll just stop. Yeah, there's this. I hate. No, I don't hate story in games. I do like story in games, but there are ways to tell it while still being interactive, and there's certain games that do that really well. And then there's games which just force you into these cutscenes, which you have to sit and endure. And it's the equivalent of those text boxes long ago. I mean, it was more necessary back in the day, because back in the day you couldn't really tell a story with 8-bit graphics. You kind of had to have a bit of text in now and again if you wanted a story-heavy game. But nowadays there's no excuse. Make the cuts like something like mind you, Uncharted is a bit like that as well. But Uncharted is better at it than Last of Us. Uncharted, at least, kind of you feel like you're still interacting in a lot of it. You're not stuck in it all the time. Oh, spec comes to that's terrible. That's terrible. Right, tell you what, I'm going to take a quick break, then we're going to animate this this dialogue screen. So I'll be back in a few minutes, guys. Be right back. I'm back. Right. I've just realized I'm probably going to need a dialogue open button here as well. So I'll call that open. And then the animation will turn this off. So you basically, to activate the animation, you'll set open and in, and it will scroll in. and then when you click off the dialogue and it goes down, then it will automatically set dialogue open to off. So I'll call this dialogue state, actually. Makes more sense. Okay. So dialogue is updating every frame. And what we need to do is, if the dialogue in is set, which I've already got in the accumulator, so I can just test that value. So I'm testing bit 1. Actually, I'll test bit 2. And then if that is not set, we'll jump to dialogue out. And this will be our dialogue in. Okay, so if the dialogue is coming in, what do we need to do? So we need to take the value that's in dialog position, and we need to subtract 1 from it. So yeah, we need to decrease it like so, and then we need to see if it's hit the top value. So our top value is 70, and that means it's fully open. Let's just put the exit here. So if it's not equal to that, then we'll jump to exit. Otherwise, if it is equal to that, then what we need to do is we need to... Actually, can we do this? Oh, no, I'll just leave it in there. So otherwise, we need to set a value in this as well. So actually, we can do this all with HL. That would probably be... Oh, no, it's fine. It's fine like this. So we need to, if the dialogue is finished animating, then we can turn off this dialogue in here. Just need to do a test here as well. Because this will be where we check for the joystick control or joypad controls to press the button. Okay, so dialogue animates in, so we need to, when we reach the top, we need to turn this bit off. So we need to unset that. So we need to reset bit 1 of the accumulator, and then we can store that back in here. Jump to exit. And then on the next frame, it will check dialogue open. Okay, that should be enough just to test this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a temporary... Hang on, where's the init? Okay, so we've initialized it here, and then I'm just going to trigger it. So the way I'm going to trigger it is by setting some bits in the dialogue. So I need to open the dialogue and animate it in. Okay. Oh, we've got errors there. We're getting errors. Dialogue 51. Oh, dialogue position needs to be that. That's why. Oh, and we need to store that value. So we need to store that value back here, but we also need to store it at, what was it, FF4A as well. Okay, not seeing an animation here. The dialogue state. Turn if it's 0. Otherwise, check bit 2. Oh, the bits are wrong. That's why. This should be bit 1. It should be bit 0. That's why. Wait, hang on. Check bit. Hang on. Check bit 1. If it's set, we'll go to dialog out. No, do it like this. Do it this way around. So we check bit 0. If bit 0 is not set, then we're not going dialog in, so we check dialog out. Dialog out checks bit 1, which is this one here. If that's not set, we go to dialog open. There we go. Oh, and it's carrying on and on and on. Okay, it's not. Compare A to Sam's journey. Thanks for the follow, Swooper TR. Thank you for the follow, dude. Welcome to the stream. Volume. Okay. Why is that not stopping when it hits the end? It should. Oh, hang on, I'm resetting the wrong bits, aren't I? That's why. So this would be bit 0. Okay. Cool. Now, it's a bit too slow in my opinion. It needs to be a bit quicker. So still too slow. I'm going to speed it right up. Let's do 4. That's better. So then you'll get 2 rows of text in here. It looks like you can fit way more than 2 rows of text in here, but you can't. You can only fit 2 rows in because it's this middle section here. May create another text here, which is basically good. Would be something like this. You know, so you've got like an arrow down sort of thing. Then that can be displayed. I should move it up by 1. Actually, where does the text come to? 1 line above. Okay, so we can go right up to the top. In fact, that's probably enough, but like so. And then if you've got extra pages, you can display this in that bottom corner then. But I'm not going to do that right now. What I want to do is make sure that once the dialogue is in, you can then, once the dialogue is open here, you can then press a button and animate it out. So for now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make it automatically go out, and then we'll add the stuff needed to make it to react to the joystick as well, because we're going to need some debouncing as well, I think. So you might not need some debouncing because you've got that time that it animates in. So no, probably should debounce it still. So let's put a dialog debounce in here, and we'll set that value as we come in. But for now, let's just force it to close. So in order to force it to close, I basically just need to set that it's open but closing, like so. So dialog state that'll fall through to exit. So hopefully this will now load this bit here, at which point I can start doing basically the opposite of this. So instead of subtracting, we'll add. I will store that here and we'll compare to 90. And if we hit 90, then we will reset bit 1, but also we'll reset bit 2 as well. In fact, it's probably easier just to turn it all off like so. So hopefully this should open and then close again automatically. Oh, it carries on going down though. Okay. Add in without carry. And this should be set in 0 in dialog state. My headphones feel really long. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I want to go and have a look at that value in memory because I'm a little concerned it's not FF4A. 58, okay. Compare the accumulator to 90, so it should get to 70 and then stop, which it does, and then the other way it should go to 90 and then stop, but it's not. It's carrying on. It's carrying on past it. Why is it carrying on past it? I'm not sure here. I mean, we can try. It's more than, but I think. Oh no, that's. Is that, yeah, that should be right. I think. No, still. So there's a problem in that it keeps triggering this. When it gets to here, it should return if it's 0. So it shouldn't do anything. It shouldn't do any of this. But it seems to just be stuck in this loop. But this should be checking the dialog state here because we're only using bit here, which is correct because we get to here and then it should be using bit here and it's saying, okay, it's been turned off at this point. But if it's been turned off here, it should just be exiting here. So it's like this bit's never happening. Let me put some breakpoints in and see what's going on. Okay, let me close all of those. Let's find dialog open OC04. Okay. So this is dialog. I wish it would put the labels in here. It's really annoying that it doesn't. Oops. So this should be where it's doing. So this is where it does the comparison here. So let's have a look. So you can see here it's going through the values. And then at this point, it should turn off. It shows there because it's actually rendering. This is the previous frame. It's now set so the next frame renders it in a different position. But for some reason, when we do this comparison here, so the accumulator is indeed 90. The 0 flag is not set currently. And let me, what's the advance? F3, is it? Yeah. And the 0 flag is set, so it should come to this line, which it does. Creates a 0, stores that here, and then jumps to exit, which means the next time we come in, which is OBCC, so this is where we come in here. Oops. It is now 0. Why didn't that trigger? Return if the condition is met, and the condition is it 0? And it is 0, and yet it didn't return. You had 4 to A. Yeah, I know that, but so if you look here, this is the problem, right? So if I just run this through, we're going to get all sorts of weird problems now. Let me just turn that breakpoint off again. Right, let me get this to animate all the way through. Right. Right, here we go. Right, so as it comes down, right, we reach this point here, right? Let me just put this breakpoint up here. This is going to be really hard for you guys to see, so yeah, I know I had 4, and that's deliberate. That's exactly what I want to do. That's how it moves down. Without that, it wouldn't move down. But you'll see what's happening is wrong. So it's currently broke on this line here. If I step one step through, it does this comparison, which is just checking, does it need to turn off the dialog state? So at the moment, the dialog state is saying, let me just move this down here. The dialog state is saying that it's open and moving out. So the dialog is moving out and the dialog is open. So you can see that here, this comparison is happening. It's correctly getting to here and it's resetting that dialog state. So at this point now, our dialog state is 0, 0. So it's saying that the dialog is not open. It's not moving in. It's not moving out. The dialog state is just completely not there at all. Oops. Damn it. Let me go back to where I was. God damn it. So this is this is here now. So this is the next frame. So it should read 0 from here the next time we get into it. So let's have a look. So if I just skip in, so it's got to that point, and it's going to read that value, and it's read that value as 0. So the debugger is saying that the accumulator is now 0 and the 0 flag is set. So we're on this line now. Accumulator is 0 and the 0 flag is set. So this should exit from this function. Yeah, what happens? Oh, it did exit that time. Load does not set flags. That's a very good point, yeah. Fucking hell, yeah. Thank you. God damn it. Stupid thing. Thanks. Fucking Z80, seriously. Boom, perfect. Seems a bit fast though now. Yeah, that was it. So the next time it came in, it was the 0 flag was not being set correct, even though it loaded in the right value. Thank you very much. 100 AMK. Pints. You want pints now, dear? Pints are a bit more expensive than points. Fucking Z80. Jesus Christ. I think that's probably the biggest pitfall, I think, of everything. Switching from 6502 to Z80. That is probably the biggest pitfall, because you get so used to anytime you move a value into a register that it sets the flags accordingly. Yeah, it's set flag on move. I mean, it makes sense, right? Because that's what you're doing. The last thing the processor processed should set the flags. Storing it is a different matter, but moving a value from a memory address or another register into a register should set the flags. And I don't know why it doesn't. It's just a very weird thing with Z80, and I don't understand why. It seems unnecessarily kind of annoying. Right, I want to try. Speccoms has said something about load BB. I'm going to try that. I just want to see if that actually works, because if it does, that would be really useful. No, it didn't. Oh well. Let's have a look if there is. It'd be really handy to have, though. Conditional breakpoints. Source code breakpoints load BB. Yeah, it says it does. Maybe I need to set them up in BGB. Bug. Oh, local symbols. God, that would be useful. That would be useful as well. I'm not seeing anything about. Oh, pardon me. Break on load BB. There we go. There we go. Source code breakpoint. Awesome. Now, the question is, does it remember the labels as well? I have a feeling it's not. Oh my God. I think it might do. Jesus. Okay, let's. Okay, no, it hasn't remembered my labels. There must be another way of getting those to load in. I'll have to have a look at that at some point. But that's really useful. Thank you for that. Yeah, it is. It was an option I had to turn on. Thank you for that, Spectrumster. Really, really useful. Although I might see if I can change this to a macro somehow. Do I have any macros? I can't remember if I made any. I don't think I did. Let's have a look. RGS macros. LDDD is debug message which appear in the source. Flaming Hot Monster Munch. Oh God, I've not had them for a while. Oh, can you still get beef Monster Munch? They were amazing. I've got a real hankering for beef Monster Munch now. RGBDS macros. Here we go. Where's the macro? That's not a macro. Macros are kind of done. So, okay. Oh, okay. All right. This is a macro apparently. So let's just stick one. Let's put it here. So I'm just going to say break. I'll break lowercase like so. And then I can pretty much just do like so. And then hopefully, where I was, here we go. Now I could just do that. Macro break not defined. Just fucking there. Does it have to be in this? If it has to be in the file, then that's just stupid. Okay, seems like it has to be in the file. Wait, what? I have beef monster munch in my cupboard. Must be British in a minute. I'll have to Google it. Oh yeah, beef monster munch are amazing. I remember some news story about roast beef munch being banned from prisons because it making the inmates violent. Yeah. Brackets. Oh, break. Okay. Really? Doesn't look like I need to do that in code that reading, but all right, let's try it. It kind of works here. In fact, it works if I do it in here. It just doesn't work if I put it in the other file. Because it's not available to everything, apparently. In which case, it's kind of pointless, because that works. That actually works. If I run that, let it break straight away. Annoyingly, it doesn't show me the line that it's broke on. I have to actually go to it. But it has broke. One again. F9. Let's try it. Let's try it with them. Maybe it'll work. I mean, it works the same that way. Let's try moving it. It'd be good if I can have it in a separate file, because then I can create a list of macros somewhere. That'd be really handy. Yeah, macro break not defined. Okay. Define before include. Oh yeah, good point, because we're including those files. Yeah, maybe if I include it at the top. Very good point. That worked. Awesome. Thank you. Right. So in that case, I'm going to put all my macros at the top, and I'm going to start using macros for things as well. Thanks, Andy. Another bonus 100 points. And VSM, you need brackets on macros. Yeah, it doesn't look like you actually need them in here, which is good, because I really don't think it needs them. That's perfectly fine to me. But seemed to work. Yeah. It is a little bit annoying that it doesn't jump straight to the code on the first pass. It doesn't. The first pass it just breaks. Wait, is it just opening the debugger straight away? Yeah, it's jumping straight to the debugger. Oh, do you know why? It's not actually showing the game. It's just showing this mini window. I need to change that. Okay, so yeah, break on that debug. Small GB screen, no. Okay. Perfect, right. And then if I do that, awesome. Oh my God, that's going to make my life so much easier. That's just improved my experience somewhat. And I'll take everything. Right, I'm out of cider, so it's time for the wine. So I'm gonna put my glass. Just have to go there. Oh, there we go. Thought I hadn't brought the bottle opener in then. In Amok's video as well, he was drinking was it Busey wine, which I kind of want to try now. I'm not gonna ignore the wine not that he recommended the wine, but if he's drinking it, it must be nice, right? I'm not going to ignore the wine recommendations of the Frenchman. So look like a fairly interesting wine. So I might try and grab a bottle of that at some point, maybe on the next stream. Well, next Saturday stream if I can find it. It's not going to be easy to find it and get it delivered though. So how are you going to do the Amiga version then, Andy? Are you going to kind of do it feature by feature as I go through it, or are you going to kind of approach it in your own way? Assuming Andy agrees to let you do it. I mean, I'd just do it, to be honest. I just wonder because it'd be interesting to know if we need to confer a little bit more about how you approach it. You copy my code line for line, and I'll just convert it to 68 types. Oh god, I do like this Ryoka. It's nice. Okay, the Chris, this is for you. Cheers. Well, should I let that breathe a little bit? It's a bit tart. Should have opened that a bit earlier, really. Just create macros for every single one of the opcodes, and just do that. Okay, cool. So the dialogue is opening now. So let's do some. Let's make sure that this doesn't happen unless the joystick button is pressed. So first of all, we need the D bands. So when the dialogue is coming in here, actually, let's get rid of the breakpoint here. Dialogue in. So basically, this is where the dialogue is being set to being open. So before we jump to the exit here, what we're also going to do is we're going to set the D bands according to whether or not the joystick button is down or not. So let me just go and grab the joystick, the joypad stuff in here. So how do we get the fire button? Cannot remember at all how to get the fire button. Check for ladders. Check for screen exit. Buttons, here we go. Okay, I'm just gonna copy that block for now. So we'll use the jump button because if for some reason the player is hammering the buttons and accidentally closes the dialogue and then presses a button, they're not going to waste energy on the timeline shift in order to kind of close the dialogue. I mean, they shouldn't do because we're debouncing it anyway. So we're going to get fire state here. Okay, so we don't need to store it in the temporary value. We do, however, need to check the button here. Let's change that in a minute to whatever it needs to be. But what we need to do first is in this bit here, debounce button. So all this is basically going to do is whatever value we read from here, we're going to store in dialog debounce. So this is just going to store the state of the buttons, basically. Don't know what I pressed there, but for some reason that okay. Let me don't reference in regards to coding. Yeah, so debouncing in programming is just the term for when you've got a button that when you hold it down it repeats, or a fire button which is just constantly on. It's just the act of making sure that you, um, rather than just have a is fire down, it's like is fire clicked. It's just making sure that you don't record the next fire action or the next jump action or the next key press until the keys have been released first as well. Um, Uh, I think he meant more for the game logic. I always imagine that can't be that easy to do it line by line. Like, wouldn't you need to rework sections? Yeah, I guess my question for Andy is more like, it would be is, um, are you going to work on the same kind of things at the same time as me, um, or are you going to take your own path through the game? Is kind of guess what I'm saying. Thank you for the follow B1B1C0, or BBCO. I'm going to call you B1B1C0 because that's just a hex value, so I like that. I mean, it is a 24-bit hex value, but that's all right. It's all right. The plan is to follow. So you're going to kind of try and catch up to where I'm at now, and then implement things. So the thing is it's at first I might kind of accelerate away a little bit while you're getting used to it, but I think what will start to happen is as I approach the point where I have to tailor make things for each screen, there's going to be a lot of cases where individual screens are going to have very specific pieces of code for them to deal with things like lasers, stuff that I can't do normally because I don't have the number of sprites that I want. I don't have the speed to do certain things. So at those points, you should be able to catch up quite considerably. I would imagine. But yeah, I mean, we should we should definitely confer a little bit on it as well when we do things, because there's certain things I know I'm not going to be able to do. So I'm not going to be able to do the CRT effect, and actually, I don't think the Amiga should even attempt to do it anyway, because the whole point of the CRT effect is to create a retro feel. And you kind of get that anyway from playing this game on retro hardware. And if you want the true retro feel, then you load it up on an 1804 monitor, or whatever the number designation is. I can remember 1804. I think that's one. You just load it up on one of those, and you'll get the same effect anyway. So, I mean, the C64 definitely cannot do that effect at all. I don't know if the Amiga can do it. I don't know if there's a way to kind of create fake scan lines and fake CRT kind of what's it called, color aberration and stuff. So if you look on the original game, what he's done is for every white pixel is not just drawn as a single white square. It's drawn as a red, a green, and a blue superimposed on top of each other, but ever so slightly offset, so they're slightly out of phase. So while the majority of the pixel, 99% of the pixel is white, there is a faint colored hue around every single pixel. So it creates this it creates a nice CRT effect. It's also got some fisheye stuff going on, but I imagine that the Amiga can't really do that. Um, uh, uh, it will struggle as the pixels are too big. Oh yeah, that's a good point. How are you doing the pixels? Because for the C64, it's straightforward. It's just a one-to-one mapping, pretty much. If anything, we need to cut the level sizes down slightly, which is the other thing as well. I guess because the game is designed for 16:9 aspect, and we're both going to be working with 4:3 aspects. So, and yeah, your particle routine is going to be very different. So with my particle routine, I'm very limited. I mean, and we're looking at probably 64 particles, maybe 100 max, depending on the screen. Which, if you look at Checkanoid, what happens when you blow something up is its image actually breaks apart into individual pixels, and that's what becomes the particle. So if you look, when you shoot a power up pod, the entire pod just breaks apart into individual pixels, and those pixels spread out. I definitely won't be able to do that. I might be able to get the outline of it or something like that, but I'm not going to be able to do a full rendering of the thing in particles. So I don't know how you're going to handle that on the Amiga. I would imagine that you want to kind of use the power of the Amiga to get closer to the original. You'll definitely be able to get closer than I can get, I think. But it should be an interesting project. There's some real hectic screens as well. I don't know if you played through the game, but there's some like mentally hectic screens that are going to be a lot of fun to do. And I'm going to have to do some really sneaky stuff with the sprites as well, because there's some screens that probably got about 50 sprites on them, and I don't want to cut the number of sprites down. I want to try and get 50 sprites on the screen. So I'm going to have to do some sprite merging to kind of reduce the actual number of physical hardware sprites down to like 25, 30 or something like that. And then just use merging to kind of almost create a moving sprite canvas that I can draw things onto. But I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I need to have a good think about that. Okay, so we're going to store the current state of the button in here when the dialog's in. So this means that as soon as the dialogue is finished, it's going to record what state the button is in. And then at this point here, the first thing we need to do, right, we're not going to do that. That's sends it off. But the first thing we need to do is we need to check if the debounce is set. But before we do that, we need to store the new value. No, we need to, okay, we need to check if we're pressing the fire button. So here we do a check. If we are not pressing the fire button, then we just jump straight to exit. So if this value is 0, and we jump to exit, I think that's how we do it on there. So let's check 92. Yeah, so it's not like the Commodore 64. Oh no, it is like the Commodore 64. The lines are kept high, so you pull a line low when you press a button. Yeah, I think if you can get what's the sprite limit per line on the Amiga? That is going to be the biggest challenge, I think. And I think you need probably about 50 sprites. If you can multiplex 50 sprites, you'll be fine. I can't get 50 sprites. I can probably get 28 to 32 at most in some places. So, okay, so if the fire button is not being pressed, we jump straight to exit. However, if it is being pressed, then the first thing we need to do is check this. But what we also need to do is if the fire button is not being pressed here, then actually we need to reset its value. So the way I'm going to do this is if the fire button is being pressed, then we're going to go to here. Which is this bit here. Otherwise, what we're going to do, the fire button is not being pressed, so I'm going to store 0 in dialog debounce. So now the fire isn't being pressed, so we can press fire on the next one. And jump to exit. So then at this point, if the fire button is being pressed, we then need to check this value here. And we need to compare that to 0. If the value is non-zero, then we come to exit again because we can't actually do the debounce here. However, if the fire if the debounce is 0 and fire is being pressed, then we can safely do this. All right, okay, that was a little bit confusing, but I think that's fine. So let me just get the Okay, so see how I'm pressing fire and the things staying open? That's because it's debouncing that fire. It's not debouncing it on the jump, but it's debouncing it on the dialogue. So when I let go and press it again, it disappears, which is fine. So the other thing we need to do is we need to start debouncing jump on the player as well, because we don't want that to be happening. We need to make sure that only happens once. So we'll do that now while we're at it. So let's do player joy. Player, let's just call it player debounce, should be enough. I thought it was supposed to be to Checkernoid screen. No, Checkernoid is on Thursdays. Tuesdays is Game Boy. On the Amiga, you've got 32 sprites, but you've also got Bobs as well. Okay, so you've got 32 sprites, but then you can multiplex them as well, I guess. So using copper. Okay. Blitter objects might be the better idea for some of the stuff, because some of the stuff is so tiny. It kind of doesn't make sense to waste sprites on them, which is another option I'm considering as well. Which is why I'm kind of considering using the sprites as a kind of map to blit objects in, to create my own kind of Bob sprites and put them in. I mean, they'll be slower than hardware sprites, obviously. Particles you can just blit, can't you? Because particles are just single pixels. So, or in worst case, I guess a 2x2 set of pixels. But you can probably blit them quite easily, I'd imagine. You just need to make a list so you can unblit them as well. Like blit them in order and unblit them in reverse order, sort of thing. All right, okay. So, in fact, I'm going to take a quick break because I kind of need the toilet a little bit. When I come back, I'll do about another hour of this. We'll debounce the player controls next, I think, because I think that's going to be the most sensible use of the remaining time. But the dialogue is in and it's debouncing the fire button, which is good. I can close it with that. But you can see if I immediately hold down fire, actually it didn't. I just typed S loads of places. You see, it knows that when the dialogue opened, I had the fire button down, so I have to release and have to press again. I press the thingy button at the same time. The other thing I need to do actually is I need to prevent the player control from taking over at all when the dialogue is open. All right, I'm gonna take a quick break, guys. Really desperately need the toilet, so I'll be back in 2 or 3 minutes, guys. Be right back. Right, I'm back. Okay, let's debounce that the player jump so this doesn't happen, and then we'll prevent the controls from being active when the dialogue is open, because we can do that all in the same area, I think, pretty easily. So player debounce is just going to contain, we don't care about up, down, left, right, that's absolutely fine. But the jump and the timeline shift need to be debounced. So let's go and find where those are and do a similar thing in here as well. Not there. Not there. Right, here's where the buttons are triggered. So what we need to do is, first of all, we can only jump if, let's just get rid of that, don't need that there. We can only jump if the player debounce value is also 0. So we check for the A button here. So before it's 0, jump non-zero to done jump. So I'm going to switch this round instead. So we're going to jump to somewhere else, and then at the end here we're going to jump to done jump. And this will be do jump. And then what we need to do is we need to reset that value. Done jump. Okay, that's fine there. We need to reset the value in player debounce. So we need to load the accumulator with player debounce. And I'm feeling cold. Let's turn that off. No, wrong button. So we need to reset bit 0 in here. So this is going to make sure that this value is reset whenever the joystick is not, whenever that button is not being pressed. And then in do jump here, we need to do an additional check. So we need to load the value in player debounce, and we need to test bit 0 on that. And if bit 0 is, hang on, is this the right way around? Reset that to 0. Hang on, let me just look what I've done on the dialogue to remind myself here. So we store that value in here, and then here we do, okay, yeah, should be fine. And this would be, if it's non-zero, go to done jump. So then if we are about to jump, then I can then set that value. So I will set that to, and then store that in player debounce. Right, that should debounce the jump now. So hopefully let's see if that works. Late tonight, yes, it's I'm not at work, so okay, now I can't jump at all, so I've done something wrong here. Yeah, I'm off for another 3 weeks, so I'm using the time to get more streaming in. Oh, you mean you're late? Actually, yeah, the stream would still be going at this time. Anyway, welcome, dude. Oh, and thank you for the follow, Smoke Souls. I missed that. Appreciate it, dude. How's it going, CB Mix? How's your day been? Yeah, let's have a look. What am I doing wrong here? Okay, so let's not check the debounce for now and just make sure that we can still jump, because I've changed one of the flags. Ooh. Ooh. Interesting. Ooh, what the hell? Something strange is going on there. Oh, because this would, oh no, that should be fine. Okay, let me turn that off. Okay, that's weird. Okay, so we can still jump, but for some reason I'm doing that on that value there. Oh, first of all, I need to store it. That's probably the issue there. What is going on with that? Is this smacks of IRQ stuff again? I'm not sure why, but that should not be up there. That's a very very strange thing indeed there. Res 0A, that should be, let me just, jump. Okay. No, it does not like that extra bit in there for some reason. If I take that out, what? What? Is it just, am I running out of time in here? Let me just put a couple of knobs in. No, okay. It seems to be to do with me reading that value in here for some reason. Oh, is this, oh, no, this shouldn't be overflowing. This is in the higher area, okay. Yeah, chat is being really funny. My OBS chat has just restarted as well. I don't know why. Oh, is my stream title wrong? Oh no, stream title's correct. Okay, it's weird. Stream title looked wrong then. So for some reason, changing that value in the accumulator here breaks it. And it shouldn't do because we load in a value into the accumulator here. We're loading a value into the accumulator here. So I don't know why this would break things, but it does seem to break things. Interesting. This is a very interesting problem. So this is my my sprite routine is wrong here. But why would that be? Have I got another interrupt that's not actually pushing anything? Push A, F, B, C, D, E, H, L. Okay. Turn the dialogue off. No, okay, still getting issues. So I don't think it's anything I've done in the dialogue. The pushes are happening here, pushes are happening, pops are happening here. A, F, B, C, D, H, L. Yep, that's all correct. So what is going on here? Table length max. Any similar labels? Label length max. I don't know why I didn't hear that. Thank you for the follow, B Fred L. I think listen might be broken because I didn't hear that. Try it again. Yeah, D bounce. Yeah, I heard that. That's weird. RGB DS label length. But why would it not? Why would it affect the sprites? That's what I don't understand. The sprites are being affected. And it's not, if you look, the sprites are being dealt with correctly as in terms of like the collision and stuff. They're just being rendered in weird places. And that's to do with the sprite system in here, which builds the sprites based on indexes and stuff. Maybe I'm overrunning something somewhere. So that's the shadow sprite area. And this is RAM 1, which is fine. What would be causing that? That is so bizarre. This is just building the sprites based on the position of one sprite. So it's almost like something in here is breaking the... But why would this break the system? That's what I don't understand. Still got that shimmer emote. Thank you very much for the sub, SP175. Welcome to the stream, dude. For a bit of late night Game Boy Color. Well, debugging at the moment. So let's try one instruction at a time. So let's just cancel that instruction, and it's fine. So it just seems to be the act of storing a value in this location that causes the problem. Which makes me think... Is there a colon after the label? Yeah, there's a colon after the label, look. What if I just put 0 in it? What if I just do that? Oh, can I not do that? Seriously? Okay. Yeah, I heard you. There's a colon after the label there. God, your stream is lagging really far behind. That breaks it as well. It just seems to be the act of putting a value into that location. Okay, let's go and have a look. D011. Okay. If I put FF in there, does that change anything? No. Huh. I don't understand why putting anything in that location would cause a problem. Let me just randomly try changing it to a different location and see what happens. No, okay, I still get an issue here. Which makes me suspicious about what's going on here. Okay, so let's put a breakpoint in here. Just make sure that the debugger is actually doing the right thing here. Okay, the accumulator is FF at the moment. D011, no. 1. Wait. What? No, this... What? What the fuck? Okay, so what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to set bit 0, reset bit 0 of A in here. And it goes wrong. If I just read the value and put it back again, it goes wrong. However, if I just put a NOP instruction in the middle, it's fine. Yeah, the load is looking at the right address on both sides. So if I put a breakpoint in here, it works. Also, putting a NOP in here works, which is why I was thinking I need to put a NOP in just to try it. So instead of doing it this way, I'm going to try OR in that value with Actually, let's AND the value in A with 255 minus 1. What? Age boundary, yeah, maybe, but you see, if I put a breakpoint in, it's not on a page boundary either. If I put this breakpoint in here and then just run it, I know it's wrong now as well. What the fuck? It's this that I don't understand. Why does putting a NOP in suddenly fix it? Is the sprite code on a boundary? I don't think so. But it's like changing that value at all causes a problem. Yet we're changing all sorts of values around here. Hang on, am I using that value somewhere else? No, I'm only using it for player debands. What about if I move it from here to like down here? No. But the moment I take that out, it's fine. Does two NOPs do it too? That's a good question. No. What does that mean, Specumster? It's going over a page, but where is it going over a page? Branch out of range. Oh, maybe. What about if I change? Okay, so. Oh, no, it shouldn't be. Look, done jump is here. Maybe I'm skipping over. Done check exit. So it jumps to here. He's a JP. I don't know where though. I mean, that would be the longest jump, but I wouldn't have thought that was a huge jump. Oh my god. Yeah, same. I would expect it to throw an error as well. This is what's so bizarre about it. Okay, let's have a look at the sprite code. So this is what's going wrong. This build sprites. First of all, let's find out where that's being called from. Okay, it's being called from the main routine. So it's not being called in an IRQ. It's being called here. So it's being called as part of our main loop. The player routine is called here. So they really should not have any effect on each other. No self mod code. It's all running from ROM, so no self mod code. Okay, why? Why would this be happening? Why does... Yeah, I mean, it does stink of page parameters, you're right. But the problem is you can see, if I put this in here, it's not on a page boundary, even remotely. It's like right in the middle of the page, actually. But yeah, there we go. It's breaking it up. Hang on, have I assigned it as a... Yeah, I've assigned it as a single byte. It should be fine. Okay, can I use another value? Let me see. Can I use HL? Okay, it looks like I can use HL, so I'm just going to try something. Same issue. Okay, let's do some experiments. So I'm not going to do anything with the address. I'm just going to put some NOPs in. So 1 NOP, absolutely fine. 2 NOPs, also fine. Let's stick a load in. Absolutely fine. What the It might be shifting other code over a boundary. Yeah, but the thing is the code that should affect this. Odd versus even. That's a good point. Let's try that. So this is also even. Okay. Let's try an odd number. No. So 4, 5, 6 NOPs breaks. 3 NOPs is fine. Oops. In Z80, can an instruction be split over a page? I would be very surprised if it couldn't. That would be a really shitty limitation. Okay, so 6 didn't work. There is something odd going on, isn't there? Okay. Let's have a look where this is appearing in here. So, do we have anything aligned? Maybe I could... Okay, this is player control. I have collision. It's not collision. It feels like it's the sprite code, but I don't know why the sprite code would be. The sprite code is actually before the player code. No, it's not. Where is it? That's the asset loading routine. Let me just put a breakpoint in here again. OD04. Okay, so we do have these tables. Maybe it's to do with these, because these are split over a page in that case. So if I do a line in here, I forgot how to do a line now. Damn it, line. Line 7. Okay, so this... Right, first, let me just take that out. I just want to make sure it's broken first, so put that in there. I think it's this table here. I think this is being... Because this is our offset table, so I think you're right. I think the problem is I've got a routine which is relying on these being aligned correctly. And they're not. In that I'm probably using the low byte. just the low byte to update the indexing in here. So I think you're right. I think that's what it comes down to. Right, so let's break this first. I can't remember where the hell it was now. It was in the jump routine, wasn't it? Here, okay. So it broke on, was it 3 it broke on, I think? No. Okay, breaks on 4. But if I align this now, so basically what I'm trying to avoid is these tables being offset. So what I can do is I could, in fact, no, let's leave them there. I need to work out section align. I can't remember exactly how this works. Align, offset, okay, align. Shorthand for align 0, don't conjugate each other, okay. Least significant bits are equal to offset. Okay, so requesting alignment. Here we go. Requesting alignment. When a line is present in sections as useful as is, the constant cannot be met. Least significant bit. So if I just do, I think I don't even need to do that. I think I can just do it like this. No. Line. Midsection align. Align, comma, offset. Align. What? No. Line 0 doesn't do anything. I'm trying to get the. Oh, okay. So it'd be 8,0 like that. No. Okay. What the fuck? Seems like only a section can be out. I know you can do an align mid-section as well, which is what I'm trying to do. Tab it in. I don't think that's going to make any difference. No, the align is short for align, comma 0. I need to find an example. The documentation isn't very helpful. It doesn't give you an example. So in 6502, you would do something like that. But in here, in RGBDS, it seems to have a weird format. Yeah, so align 8 is the equivalent of doing because it says align these 8 bytes, 8 bits, but it's not accepting that for some reason. Let's try it in brackets. Yeah, same thing. I mean, let's just align the top. It's fine. I know this is not that long, so, and I can always move these up to here like that. Yeah, that's what it is. It was that table, and I bet you the reason why it's doing it is because I don't have indexing. I'm probably using the lower byte of something in here, so I'm guessing that should be aligned now properly if I go and have a look. Sprite routines. tile. Yeah, they're aligned bang on now. And I think it's just because when I was grabbing the index, I was only updating the lower byte. So yeah. Thanks everybody. Awesome. God, and there's so many annoying little bugs tonight. Right, I completely forgot what I was doing there. Oh, I was debouncing, wasn't it? Okay, so I should now be able to load. So I have to keep an eye out for that. That's going to be annoying. I mean, what I really should have done was down here, when I get the offset table stuff, I should have done both the low and the high byte as well. So yeah, I'm a bit annoyed that that align. I can't do that mid. There should be a way to do that mid section, but apparently not. Only two commands. Oh, you can actually force them into specific addresses as well. Except Shalan. Yeah. Hey, I'm not on the best of form at the moment. Anyway, it was a combined effort. The page boundary thing made sense, but I couldn't think why that would be the case. And the only reason I've got to remember that I don't have X and Y as index registers. So I have to make sure that when I do things that use indexing like that, that I either align those tables. I either align those tables or I do full 16-bit incrementing on them as well. Try to put a dot in front of the align. Okay, let's give that a try. No, it's not having it at all. It doesn't like it. It's fine. I can just do it like that. I mean, what I could have done is just done another section a bit further down to align it. But it's fine. Thank you for the bits, Microman. Very much appreciated, dude. Oh, and thank you for the follow, Neocroites as well. I missed that one. Yeah, it's very laggy for everybody tonight, isn't it? Actually, I've got quite a few drop frames tonight. I mean, well, 0.2%, but I usually get 0, so I don't know what's going on there. It's not the 5G. My 5G is really good now as well. I was quite pleased with it. Took a lot of piddling around with it though. All right, so I should be able to reset like 0 of that. Actually, let's do it this way around. There's no reason I can't do this. Save a couple of bytes. Probably a few cycles as well, actually. And then, okay, so if the A button is being pressed, then we jump to do jump. If it's not being pressed, then we reset the debounce here. Otherwise, we check and we set that value. Okay, should be fine, I think. Oh, there we go. That's properly debounced. My God, that took some time. Hey, Streamlabs, that's my job. Oh, Shimmerbot, seriously. Wait, who requested a joke then? I didn't see anybody request that joke. Oh, I'm looking in the wrong chat, that's why. Acmafin. Wow, that was stressful. But at least we've got some stuff done tonight. We've got the jump working. We've got the dialogue working. So I'm going to debounce this as well now because this should be debounced. So same system, but we're going to use bit 1 instead here. So basically, I'm just going to copy this section here and go and find the transition on it. So here it is. Here's where the transition happens. So this is the code that I want to check. So basically, I need to flip this around to jump to transition, jump to done transition, which is this bit here. And instead do jump to 0, jump if 0 set to do transition. Transition, which is going to be this bit here. We're not starting a jump, so I get rid of that. This is checking for the B button. Okay, and then I just need to reset the bit in here for 1. And then I need to do the debounce check. So the debounce check is this. So we're going to check bit 1. If it's set, we're going to jump to this. Otherwise, we're going to set it anyway. That should be enough. That should be debounced now. So let's check. So jump still debounced correctly. Transition debounced. Great. Okay. My God, that was a nightmare. Right. Okay. Right. So the next thing to do is to stop the controls when the dialogue is open. So this whole thing is the dialogue, is the controls. So what I need to do in here is return from this entire routine, which starts all the way up here, if the dialogue is open. So we're going to load the accumulator with dialog state and return if it's non-zero. So if the dialog state is anything other than 0, then we're going to return. So what this should mean now is that if I try and change the timeline, oops. Oh, it's still letting me change the timeline. Okay, that didn't work then. Oh, am I setting the dialog? Am I setting that to open? I don't think I am actually. Oh. Fuck you, Z80. There we go. There we go. Perfect. Right. So also what I want to check here now is if I have the dialogue open. Yes, I have to let go. Cool. All right. Yes, I know. But I'm remembering. I'm slowly remembering. Yeah, I spotted it. I'm slowly remembering. Jesus. It's a good job I do drink, because if I wasn't a drinker, I think Z80 would drive me to the alcohol. Or this bastardized version of Z80 would anyway. Okay, so we've got debounced routines. We've got a lack of control when we go in. So the only other thing we don't have at the moment is if we're in the dialogue routine, then we should stop all action, all like collision and sprite action as well. So what I'm going to set the player to start a little bit higher up to begin with, like so. And you'll see at the moment he still falls. So I want that to stop when the dialogue's opening. So that should be pretty easy to do. So we've got player jump and fall here. So I can just do that same routine here. Player collision I can leave. Everything else I can leave. But player jump and fall definitely needs to stop. Character animations I'm going to leave because they're active in the actually no, they are active in the original C64. The original C64 version changes the palette on the screen, so I am going to stop all the character animations as well at this point. So let's go and do the player jump and fall. So basically I just need to copy this, like so, and then in the chart animation, wherever the hell that is, VRAM updates. Here we go. Do the same here. So there we go. The dialog's open, so you can't do anything here. You can't change the timeline. You can't jump, but you can press to get rid of it, and then he falls. So that's kind of perfect now. So now what we need is a routine to actually fill the data into that screen. It's starting to feel pretty good, actually. We're getting there. I haven't started the DBC series yet. Is this port going to be released on cart? Yeah, that's the aim. I'm not sure how to do it. I mean, I've been chatting with Jamie from Bitmapsoft, who's always kind of up for trying stuff out like this. What I might do is if I can't get this to work, if I can't get this to just work directly through the publisher, I may work with him and do like a Kickstarter as it approaches the end, just to kind of to drum up a bit more interest in it. So I'm just checking out the. Could you have one more bit? Okay, I will check that out after the stream steps. So it might be something I do. Yeah. Have a way to burn a single card. Yeah, so I can test on real hardware as well. So I've got the Game Boy Advance here and the Easy Flash cart for it as well, which lets me test the ROMs out on real hardware. But now I've kind of figured out the IRQ stuff. I'd say figured out, remembered that I should do these IRQ things. It's not that big a deal. I was getting some different results on hardware, but I think that's just due to the way that memory is initialized differently on them both or something. And also I think that the real hardware has weight loop detection as well. So it was detecting certain code patterns as weight loops and saving battery power, which is an intelligent piece of hardware actually to do that, especially for that time. Which is clever, really, because it meant that the battery life was longer on them. And to be fair, the Game Boy's batteries did last quite long for the time. If you compare it to like the Game Gear absolutely chewed through batteries, to the point where most people didn't even have batteries. They usually had the little charger, like bulk pack on the back, sort of thing. But yeah, so I'm going to release it. Try and release it commercially if I can. I'm going to try and work with Bitmapsoft to do it. It may be that we go down the Kickstarter route anyway, just because it's probably going to be easier to fund kind of known sales up front rather than try and kind of guess how many people are going to buy it. At least with Kickstarter, you know how many people have ordered it. So, but I have no idea how to do a Kickstarter at all. So I'll have to look into it and probably get the help of some people to do it properly and work out kind of stretch goals and things like that. I don't know how it's going to work, but I want to get the game finished first, and then that way I've got something to show, and it can just be, if we get enough people, we'll add extra content into the game then. But I think the game is already available on the C64, so people know of its existence, or can see that it's a particular game that that exists already. Okay, this is kind of good. I just want to check something because something felt a bit odd then on the ladder. So I'm on the ladder. I go off to the side. Oh no, that's kind of right. That's what I'd expect. So, how many do you expect to sell? Is it feasible to assemble it yourself? I don't know. I'd have to look into it. So I was looking at the cartridges and how to buy cartridges in bulk. And there are plenty of places, most of them in China, weirdly. Well, not weirdly, it's kind of obvious, really. That will sell you blank cartridges in bulk with batteries in and things like that. So it's just about To be honest, I don't think the cartridge is the big issue. I think the biggest issue is going to be getting nice boxes made up for it, nice boxes and manuals. Because I want to, if I'm going to do this, I want to release it in a box that's exactly the same as, so somebody can just slide it into their Game Boy Color collection and it will match. That I think is going to be the trickiest thing to do. So, yeah, I remember Turrican winning 2 in a row. That was kind of cool. So this is fucking me over. Yeah, you all get a different rate actually. Basically, whatever you bet on, the other person will win, and you all get a separate stream. General music, good request, Aknafin. Okay, let's put the player back to his original position. Now we know that that's working. What I want to do now is just create a basic dialogue kind of add text kind of method, basically. And the way this is going to work is going to be a little bit strange because I can't just update this information straight away. It has to be updated at the right time. So what we're going to do is in RAM, we're going to reserve 40 bytes in RAM for the dialogue. Actually, not 40. It would be 36. Okay, so dialogue text is 36 bytes. And the way this is going to work is quite simple. You're going to have a dialogue update function in here. Update dialogue. No, not update dialogue. Add dialogue. And you're going to pass in an address in HL, and the address in HL is going to point to 36 bytes in memory. And then what we're going to do is we're going to load B with 36. And then we're going to copy data from the location that you point to, and we're going to store that at D, comma A. And D is going to be the address of dialogue text here. So what this is going to do, this is going to copy whatever text you've asked it to do and put it into RAM here. And the reason I'm doing that is because what I then need to do is at the right time. Actually, no, I don't even need to do it like this. I can do it like this instead. Dialogue text address 2. So you put your dialogue text in there. You open the dialogue. Yeah, okay, we'll do it this way. Okay, so then add dialogue is then going to then it's going to do this. So then it's going to load HL with, oh god, have I got to do this? Can I do that? I bet I can't do that, can I? That's not going to work. Let me just put return here. I don't think that's going to work, is it? Yeah, I didn't think so. I'm going to have to do it separately. Okay. Okay. I would like to do some stuff on the NES. I think when I'm finished with the Game Boy, that would make a really good Tuesday stream, actually. Because I do like Nintendo's approach to hardware. I really do. I think the way the Game Boy hardware works is incredible. So maybe that is the next logical step here. I'd have to get a NES, so I don't actually have a NES. It's not hard to get though, I guess. Okay, so this is now copying. Oh, actually, we don't need. So we need to add the dialogue here. Okay, so getting this wrong, aren't I? Okay, so this is actually 9821. So this is, I'm going to copy one row at a time here. So I'm going to do one row and then I'm going to do another row. So let's just call this row 0, which this should be fine. I'm going to call that loop 1 as well. I'll call it loop 0 so it matches the row, why not? And then I'm going to do the same again. HL can remain the same because that's going to read the next line. But then this needs to go to 9841, right? So this is row 1. So this is just going to copy the text from wherever we point to into the right area of memory. This should be loop 1, and there we go. And that's add dialogue. So the other thing I need to do at this point is, as soon as I've loaded that value in, I'm going to reset the value in dialog text address, and there's a reason for this. And this is so that when I do a check up at the top, what I'm going to be checking for is if the well, I'll actually just be checking the upper byte, so I'll be checking dialog text address +1. If that's non-zero, then you need to go to dialog, add dialog, and actually add the dialog in. So let's do that. That needs to be A. So let's do that up here. So when the dialog comes in, the very first thing it needs to do is we just need to check here. And if that value is 0, then we jump to skip, which is just going to be here. Otherwise, we need to call add dialog. And the reason we do this here and we don't just add the dialog straight away is we can only add stuff to the video area when we're in the VBlank. So this is going to make sure that we're in the VBlank area when we try and add the dialog. So with that in mind, where do we set our thing up? So here's where we set our dialog up. I'm just going to create a little dummy area here. I'm just going to call it dummy dialog. Now, I don't know if you can do text like this. I don't know what. Okay, RGBDS. I don't actually know how to do text. If anybody knows how to add text, then that would be great. String expressions. Oh my god, where is it? Char map. Char map sounds. It's a different. No, that's an encoding thing. That maps a string rather than. I think you're looking through the same docs as me because I just came across that one as well. Defining data. Here we go. DBDS. Really? Oh, it's just DB. Okay. So I can have what's it? 18 characters. So let's just put dot pos 6, 7, 6, 10. Okay, that's 10. It's 15. Scroll up. DB. Yeah, well, I don't need the comma 0 though. I don't need to terminate it. your lag is so funny. 10, 13. Okay, so I need 5 more bytes here. So hang on, that's 11. 4, 10, 18. Okay, that's perfect. Let's just copy that like that. Dummy dialog. Right, so hopefully what I should be able to do now is go and then store that in put +0 in here. Taking 50 points for that. Oh, okay. Destination opera must be A. Dialogue 116. What have I done? Have I done a 0 again? Oh, fuck off. Just what's the point of having all these registers if you can't do anything with the fucking things? Okay, that didn't seem to add the dialogue in. Okay, let's put a plug in, dialogue in, call add dialogue. Some text. Okay. Let's just put a breakpoint in here. Okay, so we have hit that breakpoint. Let's go to, this is our dialogue. Oh, hang on. This has not actually drawn the dialogue yet. Init dialogue. Init dialogue. What? Let's close all of these. Close all the windows. Oh, where's it drawing that? That seems weird. Oh no, that's correct. Okay. So why is it calling the add dialogue over and over again? It shouldn't be calling that over and over again. Let's step through. Okay. I love these streams. If I have no interest in the material, I still join. Ah, cool. Thanks, Bex Homster. Do you know what? As I said on Discord the other day, you guys have helped me through the COVID times and the kind of anxiety and a little bit of depression I've had with that. And if it wasn't for these streams, I don't know where I'd be right now. So and that's why, even though I do need the time kind of away from it now and again, as I have done this week, I couldn't wait to get back because you guys make me feel great. So you're all my friends, and I enjoy kind of doing stuff with you lot. So it's all good, man. It's all good. Okay, don't know what's going on here. Right, let's. Why is that not loading up? Nothing's loading up here. It's not setting those values for some reason. Okay, let's put a breakpoint. Okay, so dummy dialogue is here. Okay. Group hug, yeah. Oh, cool. It's really good to know. It's really good to know. I'm glad that I bring some kind of some sanity to people's lives, even if it's really crazy kind of difficult times. You like I say, you've all definitely helped me kind of through this, and through everything, every little problem I've had recently. You guys have kind of without directly knowing it, you've kind of helped me just by keeping me sane, really. So, oh my god, what is going on here? Right, why is that brake not working? Let's turn this brake off. It's fucking knows what's going on in here. Okay. Now I've got brakes, I feel like I'm overdoing them now. Okay, OE39. So if I go to OE39, and there we go, I can see the .cosmos Game Boy, .cosmos Game Boy. So that is definitely there. Yet it's not showing. Why is it not showing? Good night, SP175. Okay. So we hit that one first, which is correct. But then, for some reason, if I hit this one before I hit the other one, why is it hitting add dialogue? Color issue? What do you mean, color issue? Oh, Doc will also wear a mask in game. Color issue? Oh. Black. No, the text isn't there at all. So if I go and check the memory where it should be, it's not there at all. So I don't think it's a color issue. Weirdly, it's coming into this routine. Hang on. So it's getting into this routine because this dialogue state is being triggered. So init dialogue should probably also be setting the dialogue state to 0. So let's do that. Here. Okay, it's still getting in there first. So if I initialize the dialogue after the interrupts, I did. Okay. I even put a note to say that I shouldn't do that, and I still went and did that. Okay. Right, that's better. Okay, so... Okay, let's go to D028. OE3E. Okay, that's good. So now if I continue, now I get into here, and HL is correct. Okay, so... okay, not sure what happened there. I didn't see anything appear. Let me turn the brakes off now. So I know that this is happening first. I'm going to move all this into another routine soon. And what I'll do is you'll set something in HL and call initialize turn dialogue on, and it will trigger it. So. The dialogue isn't showing at all now. That's frustrating. It's doing this, but then nothing's showing. It's kind of blanking it out for some reason. Okay, let's have a look. So something has appeared because it's paused everything, which is not a bug. It's doing what it should be doing. But the dialogue does appear to like it should be there. Okay, the map draw is happening. So I need... okay, this is this thing here. Okay, cool. But now it's just not displaying the right thing. So let's put some breakpoints in here and see what happens. Okay, so at this point we have OE42. So let's go and have a look at OE42. And OE42 definitely has our text in. So what we should be seeing here, so this is the next row, and this is 9821. So we should be seeing this copying the data from HL. So let's go through 9821. So HL is OE42, D is 98. Okay. So load the accumulator with the contents of HL. Which is giving me ASCII. So that's the problem here. So it's giving me ASCII, I need to convert it. So what I need to do is I need to subtract 40 from it. Okay, so step through again. So I have 44, change it to 4. Let's store it at 9821. Let's go to 9821. And that is correct. And it is filling it out. Okay. But we're not seeing it. And it seems to have cleared it again. It's filled it with... Okay, so it should only do this at dialogue 1, so maybe that's the problem. Maybe it's filling it with something different. So it's done it once, but there you go, it's done it again. Okay, so it's come into here again, and it shouldn't have done. So let's have a look. D8, D028, 00. Okay, so in this check here, oh my god, it's the same fucking error again. Fuck you. Fuck you. It's so annoying. It's the same shit every time. Okay, so it's done some strange stuff on the next line, but we kind of have something there now. So this is where char map comes in. So char map is going to be something I need to do to get the mapping correct with the keys. But I think I'm going to call it a night there. It's enough for a decent start. On the next stream, we'll finish this off and we'll add a paging system in as well, so you can, if there's more than one page, it will cycle through multiple pages. I don't know how we'll do that. I'll have to have a think about that. Well, are we going to need multiple pages? Probably are, actually, because yeah, I think it is going to need multiple pages. So either we shift the thing up another 2 rows, or we just add more in. I'll have to have a look at the text in the original one, but yeah, I think I'll call it a night there, guys. It's been good. All right, cool. Let's go and find someone to raid. Where's my stream thing on? There it is. It's only 1:30 a.m. Oh yeah, I should use Ore, shouldn't I? Look, at the moment, I just need to remember to actually do the comparison to begin with. Because in a moment, it's just, oh my god. Good to have you back. Thank you, guys. Right, let's have a look who to raid. Clipper, Gunstar. Clipper's going to be playing Mega Man, yeah, always. What's Gunstar playing? He's on the game. Oh god, he's on Krusty still. All right, let's. God, that game must be driving him mad now. All right, let's go and raid. Let's go and raid Gunstar Heroes. Cool, thanks, guys.
I'll be back on Thursday, all going well. We'll get the PP stuff done in Checkanoid. But yeah, thanks for tonight. I've enjoyed it. I've still got some wine. I will probably drink that tomorrow. If not, I will maybe save it for Thursday, but I doubt it's going to last till Thursday. It's probably just going to get drunk tomorrow morning, to be honest. All right. Take care, guys. Good night.